Yeah,
she means don't come
can,
home with a tractor.
You can act like you don't know.
Tim, you're supposed to be giving good advice. Good advice.
I'm giving good tractor advice.
I know you are.
Marital advice is not necessarily my forte.
Buys tractors at auction.
You need to be quiet before you get whooped.
I'm afraid my camera lady is getting riled.
Exactly. I'd cut it off right here.
Sounds like he's not going home with the tractor today either.
Okay, so how about if you ask me that question?
Yeah. Well, I just did.
I know. We're performance artists, man.
Yeah. What question did we ask? They'll all leave.
Where do you really want to be, Christy? What kind of look? Make Pete and me look pretty. That'll be hard for you. I think this will be very informative for you as well as Pete. If you know Pete from GCI Turf, he's a Ventrac lover, well, like me, but he now has a need for something a little bit larger, and we're going to try to help. Let's get started. We just did the intro, man.
Oh, that was the intro.
That was the intro, man.
I'm ready to drive a tractor, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to get on with it.
Cool. Okay.
You want an intro?
Yeah. You mean do mine?
Yeah. You want to do something different? We can be in a different place if you want.
No, it don't matter. Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. I hope you're having a great day today. I'm in Danville, Virginia, not too far from where I stay at. A lot of you know Tim, Tractor Time with Tim. I kind of got a need for a tractor, so Tim is the go-to guy for that. If you don't watch him now for tractor videos, you should be watching him. So go check him out. I want to learn more about the tractors. I grew up on a tractor, but a lot have changed since, the old Farmall 140. So Tim's going to walk me through and show me everything I want to know, and we'll have a good time doing it.
Sounds good. I love tractors.
I know you do.
We're looking at the green stuff to start with here,
Gotcha.
right? I mean, we're gonna try to look at another brand later, but the reason that we're looking at the green stuff is because the folks here at Danville,
Yep.
James River Equipment, have been very kind to try to get these machines together. Supply chain, there's just no tractors hardly available. These guys had tractors brought in from who knows where.
They have quite a few out here.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so what I'd like to do first is to try to help you figure out what size and maybe some of the general options, right? So I'd like to try to, at least on this first pass here, to see if we can figure out which size tractor you might want. You got frame size differences, you got horsepower differences, but we've also got like transmission differences, open station versus cab. So I think that'd be the kind of the place to start. So
Sure.
We're not really focusing on brand for this. It's more about what features and what size. And the only reason we're doing it here with John Deere is because, well, that's what I'm familiar with.
Right.
And because the folks here at James River Equipment have been so kind to gather all these machines for us.
And you wanted to hang out with me, right? Huh?
Well, and I get
I fed you last night. That's good.
Yeah, I get to hang out with you, Pete.
That's the main part. You know what I'm saying?
Pete and I know each other because of our shared love for Ventrac.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love my Ventrac.
I do too. I do too. But it won't do some of this bigger stuff.
Exactly.
So on that topic, what do you want to do?
Athletic field work.
Athletic fields.
Yep. Soccer
Okay.
fields, baseball fields, predominantly high school in our area, and we've really gotten into that big time.
Okay.
For a small business, I call big time. Manage about 20 fields now, and next year we actually have an opportunity to bid on all of the fields in our county, which would be another 30 fields probably on top of what I'm doing.
So you're taking care of 20 athletic fields, probably an even mix between soccer and baseball? Or?
Soccer, baseball, softball.
Okay.
Yep. We don't do rugby, and we don't have that here. Lacrosse, so it's predominantly baseball, soccer, softball.
Well, what does it mean I mean, do you mow them?
No, I don't mow. I don't actually mow the turf. Although
Okay.
we've got some quotes out to reel mow it with a reel mower. And of course, that'd be my Ventrac reel because that would be the most efficient for what I have. But mainly the fertilizer, weed control, keeping the Bermuda tight, looking good, weed-free, growing, healthy, thick, and leveling type work,
Okay.
like sand leveling. When you would put sand actually on the turf and use a large, wide, plane leveler and drag that sand around, and it fills in the low spots. And then the Bermuda grows right back up through it. So you get a nice, safe, that's the main objective of that, is a safe playing field for the kids.
Okay.
And not to mention, it's way easier mowing.
Okay, so you mentioned Bermuda grass. I can't even say it. I have no knowledge of how Bermuda grass works. Tell me.
Warm season turf. Typically, it's going to be like transition zone south.
Okay.
And it is a compact turf. A lot of the newer, nicer varieties have a thin, narrow, soft leaf blade, which a lot of folks like, and it will grow by rhizome and stolon. One grows runners on top of the ground. One grows runners under the ground.
Okay.
And that you can cut that and verticut it and make it thicken up and fill in and grow.
Verticut. What's a verticut?
Vertical cutting.
Okay.
Instead of a traditional mower blade,
Yeah.
cutting in a rotary perpendicular to the ground.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Perpendicular. Okay. Perpendicular,
I think that would be parallel.
parallel to the ground, whatever it is.
It's not a
parallel.
geometry class, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I failed geometry. Matter of fact, I don't even think I took geometry. So, traditional mower blade cuts this way. A vertical mower blade will cut this way.
Okay.
So it cuts down into the ground.
How deep does it go?
You can vary. I guess you could go up to a couple of inches deep if
Okay.
you wanted to. And that would all depend on the condition of the ground would determine how deep you could
So
cut.
by cutting those stolons, you call them, and the rhizomes are roots underground. There's some people call them rhizomes if they haven't been in the country, but in the country we call them rhizomes. Johnson grass has rhizomes. I don't know. Nuts Edge has rhizomes.
Pretty much all of your warm season turf. Zoe's just saying, Augustine, I'm pretty sure all of those have that.
And so the roots are capable of growing. So when you cut them, those new roots will grow.
Yep.
Sort of like seeds, but I mean even more aggressive than seeds.
For me personally, it's probably the most horticultural best thing you can do to Bermuda turf without adding fertilizer.
Is cutting it.
It's cutting it vertically, and it will absolutely take off.
Okay, so this requires, I think you said, verticutter.
A verticutter, which is a attachment that would go behind the tractor, hook up to the PTO.
And the 3-point hitch.
That's the limit I have with my Ventrac, because I just don't have a PTO.
Don't have a
back
rear
there. It's just
PTO.
not there.
And probably not enough horsepower.
More than likely not, because it takes a pretty good sized machine, because you're talking about a 60-inch row of disc that are going to be buried in the ground, and they're all turning at one time.
Now, we saw a spec of this online from First Products, is the name of the company that makes this one of the more popular verticutters.
They're absolutely exceptional.
And what we see in this spec is it's fairly heavy. It's not outside the range of these machines, but it's also requires a good bit of horsepower. The one that we saw for a 5-footer, I believe, is 25 to 45 horsepower. And so we should be able to find something in that range.
Yeah.
What other attachment do you think we need?
Deep tine aeration.
Okay, so this is not a core aerator
Not
like
a core aerator. A typical traditional core aerator has the tine that's hollow. It penetrates the ground, pulls the core of the earth out of the ground, and leaves it laying.
Okay.
Typically they're big around as your thumb, and it will go anywhere from 1 to 4 inches.
And then we have the aeravator. It's not an aeravator.
Not an aeravator. That's solid tine that goes in the ground and jiggles and vibrates and fractures the ground.
Okay, we know what it's not. What is it?
Deep tine core aeration is where the tines may be as big around as your pinky, or maybe it's slightly bigger. You can get them hollow or solid, but they'll go up to 12 inches deep.
Okay.
12 inches down in the ground. You see them used on golf greens a whole lot, where they're aerating the golf green.
Okay, who makes these?
Oh, there's all kind of companies that make them.
Okay.
I don't have any off the actual name brands off the top of my head. Toro is obviously a big player in that.
Okay.
But there's multiple options.
And again, they're PTO driven.
PTO driven, and again, it takes a lot of horsepower. You're talking 48 to 60 inches wide, a row of tines, and they're all working in unison, penetrating the ground. So you got.
Now, I assume we're going to move really slowly when we're operating one of these.
Very slow.
I think one of them said 0.8 mile per hour.
Some of it's creeping. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that thought in mind, let's dig into some of these tractors.
Hey, don't forget about the bucket.
You need a bucket?
I need a bucket, man. A big bucket for sand, because a lot of times we'll bring this sand in by the triaxle load, dump it in the parking lot, because you don't want to drive on the field with the truck. I made that mistake once. I'll never do it again.
Never do it again. You had to repair that for months, probably.
And so I need a really big bucket to either load a top dresser, which may be in the future, or just to transfer large amounts of sand from the parking lot out to the field before I level it out.
Okay, right now you're using the, what is it called, the power bucket?
Power bucket on
the Ventrac, and it's only 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
It's incredibly effective.
It's incredible for what it is, but when you're talking about a soccer field, 2.5-ish acres, or a baseball field, almost 3 acres, it takes a pretty good while to move.
So you might be moving 2 or 3 triaxle loads of...
Yeah, and it takes a while.
Yeah, okay, so we need a pretty good sized bucket.
Speed and time is money in what I do.
Okay, with those thoughts in mind, we've got heavy PTO usage, we've got a good bit of 3-point lift capacity needed, and we need a good sized bucket.
And it's hot. We get hot here.
Are you telling me you're soft like me?
I'm getting softer. I don't know if I'm soft yet, but I'm headed that way.
Okay.
So summertime, we can get really nasty here, super humid, really hot. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'd love to have an air conditioned cab. That would be very nice.
Okay, now, this makes it pretty easy, right? As a salesperson, you come along, Pete has already listed exactly what he wants to do with this tractor, listed amenities that he'd like to have. How could it get any easier? I think even I can sell you a tractor, Pete. Mm-hmm. This is Matt, by the way, from James River Equipment. Now, Matt, you know I love my 1025R.
Sure, who doesn't?
But I'm not sure that that's going to be enough for Pete. What do you think?
Probably not. If you're moving a bunch of sand and trying to do a lot of rotary work, you're going to need a little more horsepower and a little more weight and a little more width.
Yeah, I don't know. I can try to make Johnny do a lot of stuff.
Well, I always tell customers, a tractor does the same job no matter whether it's big or small. It just does it in smaller chunks.
Okay, I think that's a good way to look at it. I think that's a good way to look at it for sure. I'm not even sure they make a small enough verticutter for one of these. And as much as I'd love to push a 1025R toward Pete, I think we better look a little bigger.
I think so too.
Who is Johnny?
Huh?
Who is Johnny?
This is Johnny.
You named your tractor Johnny?
Johnny Tractor.
Okay, that's cool. Which way you want?
I don't care. Want to wrestle?
No, I just eat breakfast.
Well, it's a good time. I might have a chance.
Let it settle and we'll go for it.
No, I won't be ready then. I don't want to catch you in your optimal situation. I want you when you're like...
When I'm weak and frail and...
Yeah.
And
that's the only way I'll have it. You remember, I'm an old man. I'm not young like you.
I'm getting there.
Well, I'm getting there too.
I'm getting there.
We've got 3 frame sizes here. Now, Deere works a little different than some of the other manufacturers and the same as some other manufacturers yet. So when you're looking at different manufacturers, you kind of have to realize just what their philosophy is on the different sizes of tractors. In Deere's case, they put a lot of horsepower tractors in the same frame sizes.
Okay.
So they have just a few distinct frame sizes, and all the horsepower ratings within that frame size are very, very similar. Okay, so in the 3Rs, for instance, they look identical. You cannot tell from the outside whether you're dealing with a 33 horsepower, a 39, or a 46.
Yeah, because you can't see under the hood.
Yeah, and the hydraulic systems are the same, the transmissions are the same, seating, everything is the same except for the horsepower. Now the horsepower really only matters for PTO applications, which you need, right?
Yep.
You've got heavy PTO needs. So I would suggest no matter which frame size we end up choosing, that you go with the highest horsepower class in that frame size.
And I am an overkill guy if there ever was one.
You know, there's a lot of people that say bigger is always better in the tractor world. You know, you hear, oh, just go big, go big, go big. I get that. I fully get that, because a lot of times you feel like you are underpowered a little bit.
Yeah.
But having started with the 1025R, the 1 Series, right? These are 3, 4, and 5. Starting with the 1 Series, I really have grown to love the maneuverability of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
So to me, I want to get kind of the smallest that will do the job well. I mean, I don't want the machine to struggle with the job.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. I'm not saying the biggest tractor I can get, but whatever frame we go with, I definitely want to max the horsepower out.
Okay, so let's look at these two. These are the 3 and the 4 Series, right? The 3R, 3-point hitch capacity here is somewhere just shy of 2,200 pounds. Now what they're measuring is like 2 foot back here.
Okay.
Right? So if you're more than 2 foot back, I mean, there's a lot of leverage here, right?
Yeah.
So, but 2,200 pounds on this one.
So maybe the long, like a bush hog, which would be longer. Of course, you're not going to have a 2,000 pound bush hog, but I kind of get the idea. The further back, the less weight.
Yeah, and it really does make a difference. I mean, you know, if you get something right up here close, you can lift a lot with it.
Oh yeah.
So this one's about almost 2,200 pounds, and that one's about 25 or 26.
Okay.
So 350, 400 pounds difference between the 3R and the 4.
Which isn't a whole lot.
It's not a huge amount. I think you'll see a little bit more capacity change on the front end loader. The front end loader will have more capacity on the 4R than the 3. Now, there's one thing about these loaders. The 3R has this 320R loader. The bucket does not self-level. So as you raise it, the bucket will tilt backwards.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
There's another type of loader, and they have it for the 4R. This one's not, but that will keep the bucket at the same position as it goes up.
Yeah, that would probably be a must.
Well, people would say that until they get used to it.
Yeah, when I've ran things, backhoes and things, loaders, you know, large Caterpillar style, so I'm very familiar with a bucket. But I'm just thinking in my mind, if I'm just kind of in cruise mode, loading sand, do I really want to be lazy? That's what I'm
well,
asking.
The funny thing is,
and manipulate the bucket all day.
The funny thing is, when you're using the bucket, if you put it flat when you're on the ground, as you pick it up, it tilts it back, which is exactly what you want. Well, it's really for forks.
That's right. Yeah.
Forks is when you want it to stay.
You want your load to stay level.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I don't know about the 4R. I don't have the 4R loader, but on the 1 and 2, the small ones, the self-leveling loader does not curl back enough to make it comfortable. So you can't get hold a full bucket load.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so there are some disadvantages.
Are you going to talk about lift capacity? Like how much can I lift with this one versus that one versus that one?
You can correct me, but I'm thinking this is somewhere in the 1,700 pounds range.
The loader?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 1,500, and this one's, I don't. Maybe you can look those up for me.
Lift probably around 1850 to 19, but it's rated at 17 something. This one you go almost to 2,300 pounds.
The rating? Yeah.
What's the low lift capacity on the front bucket?
If you get the self-leveling, it's just over 3,000 pounds.
So either one of these,
I
could do forks and pick up a pallet of fertilizer.
How much is a pallet of fertilizer?
2,000 pounds.
How high do you have to lift it?
Just to a flatbed truck would probably be the highest I'd ever had to load.
It's probably this one. I got one of these at home.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
And it's got a loader as well. Okay. Now, when you get to the loader here, it's a totally different beast.
I can envision the loader compared to that. And
in fact, the loader for this tractor is probably a little oversized for this tractor. I mean, even Deere would probably say, "Ooh, that's the one we put on it." But but I can flatten those tires. With the loader.
Oh.
Okay, even with 30 pounds on the tires, 35 pounds, I mean, it's an amazing loader. It'll do well over 3,000 pounds to full height, and I've got the self-leveling loader, and it will, it'll just lift an enormous amount. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Which I guess, do you have a grappler?
I have a grapple for
That
it.
would probably really come in handy because you can pick up like really big trees.
Yeah, you can pick up more than, I've never tested it on capacity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Any real world. Now, the negative is it's a little harder to see your loader.
Okay.
Because the hood's bigger.
Yeah.
You got a bigger tractor overall,
Yeah.
right? As you get bigger in these machines, the visibility declines a little bit, and overall the handiness declines a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
you know you
Exactly.
can't turn
It's
as
getting
short.
bigger. Yeah.
Now this machine, the cab in it is huge.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hop up in there.
I'll be glad to. Oh boy, look at this.
Now this one is only offered with the power reverser or the shuttle shift. It doesn't offer a hydrostatic transmission.
I don't care at this point. I like the
Fire it
cab.
up, drive it around, man.
What
Clutch down.
Clutch.
Yeah.
Where's your steering? It's probably right there.
Right there.
All right, clutch. Fire
Okay.
it up.
Now you've got this thing in neutral, right? It says in over there. See it saying
Yep,
in?
in. Yeah.
So you've got your 12 speed, you've got a 4 and a 3. There's your 4, it's in park. Okay?
Alright,
So you have to kind of push it down away from you before you pull it. There you go, you're getting it. Go down.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now you're in neutral.
Neutral.
And then there's and so you choose a gear.
Yep,
Now don't let up
second.
on your, oh,
And then you got an ABC, right?
yeah, and it's in B right now.
Okay. Yeah, C
B
is
is
probably
fine.
really fast.
C is too fast for where we are.
Okay.
We don't want to tear up any of their equipment.
No donuts. Can't do any
No,
donuts. Come on, man.
no,
Okay.
unless you really want to buy it
Yeah.
and everything you hit.
Now I like the way the gears are really tight. They're really.
Now this is really neat because the 4 speeds are synchronized. So you can clutch and shift while you're moving as long as you clutch.
Yeah.
It can be rolling. The A, B, and C, you essentially have to be stopped. I mean,
Stop,
it
yeah.
just grinds. It's not synchronized at all.
Okay.
Okay, so you can choose a gear there.
I'm in second. B.
Fine. Move the shuttle shift to F. Okay, now make sure the N goes off. Did the N go off?
Ends off. Yeah.
Okay, you'll be ready to go. Your throttle is up there on the right.
What about this yellow thing? The orange.
That's a foot throttle.
Okay. Okay. Oh boy. Woo.
This was probably a mistake, having him drive the biggest one
Whoops,
first.
that was park. There we go. Man, this is nice. Gosh, it's big too.
Hey Pete, you can't drive it home. Whew, thought he was just gonna head toward North Carolina.
I can see right now this will spoil you. Oh my goodness, you. Woo! I need to call my wife.
No, it's best, from my experience, it's best to just go ahead and make the mistake of purchasing.
And deal with the consequences.
Deal with
later.
the consequences later.
Okay.
That's my marital advice for today is, guys, I have recent experience with this, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, it doesn't go real well unless you've got a heated shop.
Yeah.
That was very valuable to me for a few days.
You got put in the doghouse.
I got put in the doghouse.
So guys, don't do that. Oh man.
Okay, all the way over into park.
Okay, all the way over.
To the right.
To the right.
Forward a little bit,
Forward.
and then on over.
Oh,
there it goes.
okay.
Got a little hook, kind of.
I see. Yeah.
And it even shows that hook on the knob, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like with any new piece of equipment, you know, everything's got like a little quirk to it or whatever.
Yeah.
But once you do it 3 times, it's
Yeah.
over. There's so much space in here.
Yes.
This is huge.
This is a huge cab. You can even get a buddy seat in it now.
Really? Jacks can sit
Jacks can sit right there with you.
This is huge.
You don't want this one. It doesn't have a radio.
Oh, let's get out. Okay, never mind. we don't have to call the wife.
Right. A radio is an option, though.
No, well, yeah, I gotta have some tunes. I gotta have my music, man. Man, I like that a whole lot.
Yeah, I think you would. Now you've created yourself a little bit of a mess here. Okay, we got a 4 that's kind of parked in. We've got a 3 that's kind of parked in. Which one do you want to try next?
Let's go with this one.
Okay, both of these, by the way, have the same transmission style as that.
Okay. Now, when we were talking last night, that's what I prefer.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think I've got something else to show you.
Well, I'm talking about the forward and reverse lever.
I think you'll like
Okay.
something else just as good.
Okay.
You can drive this one around, and what you'll notice immediately with this, it's going to drive just like the other one. Here's your 4.
Everything's on this
There's
side.
There's your.
Okay.
So.
Clutch, brake.
Okay, we'll have to lift up the loader a little bit. Okay. Now I don't know. I think you may be in a gear here. Yeah, you are. So you'll have to go.
Yeah,
You
second.
can't back up too much. So
B.
your shuttle lever.
That clutch is tight. Look how tight that thing turns. That's really cool.
Go out there and turn a tight circle with it. Keep turning.
Hey, you don't mind this grass, do you?
Worst case, you have to come back and fix it for him.
I can do that. Watch your toes.
Pete can fix that grass.
Whoa, look at that.
Look what you did. Come on, man.
That's Bermuda, it'll grow back. This thing turns incredibly tight.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Really?
Now, notice how the bucket goes back as you go up. You'll have to push outward a little bit while you're going. Yeah. See, but you can do that. That's easy enough, right?
Oh, yeah. Now, one thing I do like...
It'll go higher.
It'll go higher? Oh, gosh, it does. Look at that. Yeah, that would easily load one of our dump trucks.
Yeah.
Like a standard F350 dump truck. Easily.
Yeah.
No problem.
And I think we may ought to compare that with the 3. We may find that a 3 is not tall enough for you.
Yeah. That implement that I pull around at levels,
Yeah.
it actually works way better if you have the ability to pitch it a little bit.
So one thing we need to do from the factory on that is we need to make sure we order all the rear hydraulics we can get on these tractors. So whatever size, we'll have to order extra rear hydraulics.
Chances are, if I do go this route, when I order one, I can get it loaded with every hydraulic feature I can possibly get, because I don't know what I might need in the future. And
That's right.
It's been my experience. It's cheaper, quicker to just get it done at the factory and be done with it.
Whether it's at the factory or the dealer, there is something unique about the way these things work. Typically, when you negotiate with your dealer, you can negotiate a discount on the entire package.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy things like additional hydraulics after the sale, you're buying them as parts and you pay full price.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up with the ability to negotiate a little bit more if you buy things like that with your initial purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the loader, same with the backhoe. But and we might talk about that in a minute. But hey, let's drive this 3 Series.
Okay. Everything basically
Everything
the same?
is essentially identical.
Ooh.
This, yeah, you can crank it if you need to.
It's 200 and
Yeah, I know. I'd already cranked it a bunch. So
250 pounds sitting down on here, man.
lots of cheeseburgers.
Lots of cheeseburgers. Oh, we'll go with that.
Now, this tractor is available with an air seat. Either the 3 or the 4 are available with an air seat, and I highly recommend it. We'll play with one of those in a minute. This is the shuttle here. It's a little, you know.
Yep, just straight up, straight back.
This is a 3-cylinder. This one over here is a 4-cylinder.
Sounds a little different.
Now, you may notice this one doesn't have a lot of power when you're doing stuff. Don't worry about it. The more horsepower version, which is the one you would get, would be more.
Yeah, that don't go quite as high.
Right.
What's wrong? This one doesn't turn as tight as the other one, does it?
We were in four-wheel drive.
Oh, that's
now
why.
Step out and make another circle.
Okay. That would really come in handy if you're loading a truck or loading something in a tight spot.
Yeah.
That thing really turns on a dime.
Now, I noticed you applied the brake.
Yeah.
And each time you applied the brake, the rear wheel would skid.
Yeah.
The rear end on these tractors are fairly light. Actually, they're really light, right? So you've got to have a lot of weight on these tractors when you run the front end loader.
Okay.
Okay. So no matter which of these machines you get, 3, 4, 5, 1 series, 2 series, all of these compact tractors, you need to have a lot of rear ballast.
Okay.
Okay. It can be an attachment.
To offset.
To offset. And you'll notice that your brakes don't work as good. Oftentimes, for those of you who are not familiar with the steering brakes or the individual rear brakes, you can lock up one of the rear wheels and it's supposed to kind of drag the front wheels around a little bit to make you turn shorter. And it doesn't really work that way when you don't have any rear ballast and you do have the loader, because you've got all these weight on the front wheels.
The tractor's kind of pushing and the tire sliding instead of actually biting and turning.
Yeah. And so if you don't have the loader on, or if you have a really heavy 3-point attachment on, you'll feel that brake do more effectiveness for you. But the biggest thing is a safety issue. You've got to have it loaded with rear ballast.
Oh yeah.
So you also, in my opinion, you'll want some fluid in the tires.
Yeah.
We use rim
keep the
guard.
back heavy.
Yeah, we use 11 pound per gallon rim guard in the back of our tires up north. You might be able to get by with water here.
Probably so.
But on those coldest days, it's kind of a rough ride.
Yeah. Until it gets warmed up. That's right.
If it happens to freeze in there.
Yeah.
Rim guard doesn't freeze to like minus 25 or minus 35 or something, see.
Now, here's a question. If I don't want an attachment, let's say if I'm working in an area where I don't want necessarily a full-blown attachment on the back and using the loader, do they make a weight kit?
They do.
Hook up to the 3-point?
They do. The least expensive thing is called a ballast box, and they'll sell you one. Deere will sell you one. It's fairly cheap, and it comes empty, right? So you can either fill it with rock, or you can, if you want it permanent, you can pour concrete in it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, to me, that makes it harder to ship or whatever if you want to do it again. But if you fill it with something you can dump out of it.
Probably sandbags.
Sandbags or just loose sand even, you know, I mean, would be a good choice. You can also you can put pipe down in them before you fill them to be able to hold shovels and rakes and stuff in them while you're going. Then there are some weight brackets. We use heavy hitch weight brackets where you can put cast iron weights back there. Okay. And then that gives you a 2-inch receiver. It gives you some more flexibility. It's a little more compact than a ballast box. In today's world of high steel prices, it costs a good bit more to do that, but it provides some more flexibility. Those same weights can be used on the front, right, of the tractor if you ever need that without the loader. So that should be helpful on that. I want to show you the different transmission type. Okay, so far what we've looked at has been the shuttle shift, the power reverser. I want to show you the hydrostatic transmission. Okay. Before you get on this one, Pete, you probably ought to just give us your wife's number and maybe I might make the call. Do you think that would help, or?
Possibly.
Because I have a feeling this one may be the answer.
Should I even get in it? Is it that bad? Should I get in it or should I leave?
You're going to have to make that decision. So this tractor, it's got the cab. It's also got a hydrostatic transmission. Okay, so it drives very simply. You got a forward pedal and a reverse pedal. Okay. That's all you have to do.
That's it.
Okay. There are
no different gears.
There are 3 gears, A, B, and C. Okay. 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 Low, medium, and high. Okay. I think it's in B, which is fine for out here in the yard. It'll go about 20 miles per hour.
I mean, that's moving pretty good with a cab tractor.
It's
you know?
moving fast enough that you don't have to trailer it for every situation, right? You can actually drive it around some. This is the standard cab. Oh yeah, you found something
I'm
there.
nosy. So I assume this helps you hook up?
Yes.
The 3-point?
Yes, this lets you creep the tractor backwards and forwards
that
from
is
back
so
here.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get back here and grab the implement and jerk it up.
Well, you can if you want to feel, you know.
No, I'm trying to get away from that.
Well, then this is your answer.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, this is forward. This is forward and back, right? And it's real slow.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's a lever right over here that lets you raise and lower the 3-point lift arm, so you can do all this from the rear.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so cool.
It's a huge help.
Yeah.
It's a huge help.
Especially if you have a bigger implement and
you can't push these big
you're by
implements.
yourself and you can't get the tractor situated just right and you don't want to grab that thing.
It keeps you from temptation too, to say words that you shouldn't be saying.
True, I'll agree with that, yeah.
So hey, let's
Taming
get in.
the tongue.
No clutch.
Oh, no clutch.
The brakes are on this side, which is odd, I realize, but there's a reason for that. That's because the hydrostat pedals are on the right.
Okay. That's down.
So you know, that's the 4-wheel drive. The throttle's on the other side.
Throttle.
Yeah. Now there is an auto throttle if you want to turn it on. It looks like it was already on. So that means you can still control the throttle here.
Yeah.
But as you press the pedal, it
gives it more fuel.
It goes faster, yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm
this
ready
is your
to
A,
go.
B, and C, and you're ready to go.
Wow.
It may even be in C. If it is, you'll probably want to go to B. Yeah. You can try all 3 speeds. I don't care.
You're not gonna like me.
Why?
I think I like the other one better.
You think you like the shuttle shift better?
I think I do. I think there's a reason behind it. I used to work for DOT, and I ran large equipment, and the majority of that is shuttle shift. Forward, reverse, clutch. I think I'm just so used to it. Now, I'm not saying I couldn't grow to love this, but I think it's just not what I'm used to. Maybe
I can believe that.
good word.
I can believe that. I would strongly encourage you with large PTO applications. I would strongly encourage you to think. Well, for instance, why don't you take a trip down through here and put throttle all the way up.
Okay.
And force yourself to go consistently 0.5 miles per hour, and then consistently 1 mile per hour, and then back. You see what I'm saying?
I see where you're going.
Play with that a little bit, but put the throttle all the way up, because that's how you have to run it with the PTO, right?
Yep, exactly. Okay.
So you're running really slow like that with your attachment.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to the end, you want to turn.
Right.
If you were in a slow gear, how fast do you turn? Okay.
I see where you're going.
So take me a little bit straight here, running your
Okay.
attachment.
Okay.
And then whip it around.
Lift it up, turn it out. Is there such thing as a cruise control for this?
There is. Yeah. It's over there in those buttons. But you can set it, and there's 2 or 3 different things. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can set a cruise control. I don't use it myself, and most people that I've talked to don't.
Yeah.
Because you end up enjoying that variety of speed.
I was just thinking, well, that would be a plus is on a long soccer field.
You can set the cruise. You can also set so that the max speed it will go when you press the pedal.
Oh, that's nice.
So that you press the pedal all the way down and hold it.
And it only go a certain
speed.
Okay.
Anyway, wide open throttle again. Go slow while you're doing your pass.
Pick it up, turn around.
Turn around, and notice that when you have that 4 or 5 mile per hour ability to push.
That's right. All right, we're at 1 and let's get up to like 1.3 mile an hour. Now I'm coming at the end of a run, I'm picking up my attachment. Yeah, I can speed up a little bit. Tim, I kind of see what you're saying, bud. That is nice. Then you go right back into your 1.2 mile an hour. Huh. Tim might be right with this one. Attachment up. Quick turnaround. Back to 1 mile an hour.
And you've still got the ability to go backwards, right? I mean, really quick too.
I think you're right. And it actually plays into exactly what I do.
It plays into exactly what you do in a couple of ways, from the changes of speed. But the best part of a hydrostatic transmission is loader work and PTO work, right? The worst part of a hydrostatic transmission, if you want to get into the negatives of it, it is ground engaging, hard pulling attachments, like a plow, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to be plowing up anything.
Right. If you plow up one of your ball fields, I don't think that's
not going to go over well.
Not a good idea. So that's typically why you would want the geared transmission or the shuttle shift, is when you're pulling hard, even a box blade or something. But I still like to have the hydrostat, and you still have a lot of power with it. It's just not as much pulling.
I see exactly what you're saying, because if I were running 1 mile an hour and come out of my pass,
you're going to be frustrated by the time you finally
like, let's go, and then you line back up and drop the thing. Where with this,
you have to shift gears at every end.
Yeah, you can just kind of whip it around really quickly, and
yeah,
I like that. Oh my gosh, I like that. I think I like that size the most.
From everything I've heard, that's what I think.
Yeah, without digging into paper, nitty-gritty details, just feel. I think that the 44 series.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I think that size, from everything you're talking about, you talk about not only picking up a large load with the loader, dumping it high. So I think that's where we're headed. Let's look at one more option that you ought to consider.
And after being in that one versus the 5, although that cab is like, that's cream of the crop.
It really is.
That might be a little bit too much tractor.
I think.
You know, might. And what's my highest horsepower I can get?
66 engine.
That's a lot of horsepower, man, for a tractor like that.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
Let's look at this tractor here. Why don't you get in it and pull it out here? It's got a backhoe on it. And it's got an air seat.
Okay, air seat. Air ride.
That's 400 hours, so it's not going to be new.
I can get a better price, right?
I'm not even sure it's for sale. I imagine it's already sold.
Yeah, it's sold.
The seat.
Oh, the seat's a lot better in this one.
Oh yeah.
A whole lot better.
Oh yeah.
That would have to be a must. That's a big difference right there.
What is it, $800? But that's actually the deluxe cab.
Just the seat, but the cab, if you go deluxe cab, it comes with it. The deluxe cab has more lights, the rear windshield wiper and the front windshield wiper, and then the seat.
Deluxe. Yeah,
Deluxe.
It would have to be deluxe.
Deluxe. You notice pretty much the theme here. Everything deluxe.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Let's look back here.
And I guess radio's just optional regardless of what cab.
No, it comes in the deluxe.
It comes in a deluxe, and you can pick whether it's Bluetooth or not, and that type of stuff.
You'll want it Bluetooth, won't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got music on my phone and I like to listen to. Can we dig a hole out here? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just picking.
It's very powerful.
Maybe that hole should be dug to put me in it if I come home with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This one will dig deep enough.
Backhoe.
Yeah, we may have to stop and buy a box for you on the way.
That's right.
Maybe a box for both of us, because I'll get some of the blame too, probably.
Probably so. She'll come after you too.
Now, notice that we haven't discussed one big item at all, because I don't think it's hardly relevant in your situation, because you have specific needs that you got to solve. Yeah. And if you don't get enough tractor for those needs, it doesn't matter how much money you'd save.
Correct.
So it didn't matter to talk about money first.
Okay,
now,
I see where you're going. Yeah.
We need to talk about money.
Yeah.
So we need to get these guys to sharpen their pencil.
Oh yeah.
So we brought in Matt from James River Equipment, and Matt's going to help us maybe see what kind of numbers we're dealing with here. Matt, how do you price this stuff? I mean, is this some black magic where we have to go in and we have to be like on best behavior to negotiate, or what are we dealing with there?
James River offers our valuable low pricing year-round, all the time. We have a build your own tool on our website where you can go in and build out your tractor. Now that's not an end-all be-all price, because older inventory, things that we might need to move, we typically can have some wiggle room there, and then there's even room, especially when you're talking about all the attachments, features, and kits that he's going to need. So, but that build your own tool doesn't encompass everything that John Deere makes, because that would be a gargantuan task just to build out. But it has most of the popular things. So you can pick the cab you want, the loader you want, the rear implements, the iMatch, the Quick Connect, whatever it might be that you're interested in. And you can get a ballpark price. You can even plug in your tax rate for where you live. If it's delivered to you, it goes off of where you're at. And if it's picked up at the store, it's the tax rate where we're at. And then you can even pick out financing options below that. And it kind of gives you an idea of a monthly payment right from the get-go. You can even plug in a trade value if you have a trade, or you can plug in a down payment if you've got a sizable down payment, to figure out exactly where you're going to land monthly payment-wise to see what's affordable. So I went into Build Your Own and I built out a tractor for you, a 4066, so you have around 52 PTO horsepower, 66 horsepower overall. We put a 440R loader on here so you can load your dump trucks and move the sand that you need to move. Mm-hmm. We've got the snow cab, which gives you the 4th and 5th rear hydraulics for the future implements you're going to want. Also gives you the premium air ride seat that you enjoyed in the used tractor. Mm-hmm. And it kind of gets all the features that you can possibly get in the cab. And it does have AC in it. Don't let the snow part fool you.
Yeah, snow. You don't need any snow cab. What's the?
Yeah, but I got to have AC.
What is the difference? What's the deal on this snow cab?
It's just what they call it. It gives you the hydraulics for moving your snowblower around.
So isn't there a deluxe cab?
The deluxe cab is the snow cab without the hydraulics, pretty much.
So the snow cab's actually higher end than the deluxe cab then?
And we order a fair amount of snow cabs because when you get into a 4 cab, most customers need those hydraulics on the 4 because they might be raking or tedding or doing some hay work where they're going to need those rear
Which
hydraulics.
makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we order a fair amount of R4s with snow cabs, and that's just everything you could want, because I've sold a couple of 66s with the premium cab, and when you do field install hydraulic kits, it comes out more expensive than factory install. Because so much has to come off to do the hydraulics.
Back to what you were saying is, when you buy the thing from the factory, that's when you load it up.
Yeah.
Don't wait till afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do everything the factory can do, but it's not always cheaper because of the amount of labor involved in getting to that part. But all that on there, a set of pallet forks, because you mentioned unloading some mulch and things like that, or fertilizer. Fluid-filled tires, because we don't sell a loader tractor without fluid-filled tires from a safety standpoint. You're looking at package price of around $75, cash discount of $1,000, another $5,000 James River additional discount, puts you at $69,000, $70,000 before tax.
Okay. How much is a ballast box?
A ballast box is going to be right around 7 or 8, I think.
100.
Yeah.
I can probably get that for free.
There's
You think so?
Yeah. If they wanted me to buy the tractor, I'd get it for free.
Yeah, well, we'll have to do some of that kind of arm twisting off camera.
Yeah.
I'd hate to offer him, 67 or 8 right now if he didn't want to take it home.
No. I don't want to lose my wife. I love my wife.
I don't know.
Wife, tractor, wife. I got to go with the wife, man. I'm telling you.
It would be tough to sleep in a cab tractor.
I think if I came home with this day, I would literally have to sleep somewhere than my own bed.
Well, we better go ahead and get the air seat then, because if you're going to have to sleep in
It needs to be comfortable. And fill it up with gas, because it's going to be cold. Gas, diesel. Fill it up with diesel. It's going to be cold tonight.
it's going to be hard to walk out of here, isn't it? But don't tell Matt.
You're making this difficult.
Don't tell Matt, but we ought to go see if we can find a competitive tractor.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I don't know.
I'll check around on pricing.
Yeah,
In a minute.
we'll go check it out and see if we can find a competitor and That's after I buy you a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, I thank you very much. James Rivers went out of their way here to help us find these machines, and we really appreciate it.
You kept emailing me and copying me on emails and stuff, warm welcome.
Warm welcome.
And I'm like, what is a warm welcome? And I see now, this is really cool, man.
Yeah.
They had the tractors laid out for us so we could walk through. And
we did email the folks at James River ahead of time, and so they were able to gather some of these tractors. Again, with the supply issues, it's really hard to get this amount of variety of equipment together. And so we do appreciate it. We tried to do that with the competitive brands that we're going to next. We were not able to get any of them interested in working with us. So we are going to go for our next stop. It's going to be a cold visit.
yeah, I'm all
We'll see
about
what
that.
we'll see what it's like.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Let's get going.
Cool, let's go.
Thank you.
But you can't go, Matt.
I'm good.
You can.
I'll just take off with the shirt.
Pete,
Yeah,
Pete,
yeah.
come here.
Oh,
I can't get his attention. He just drools over these things. I can't get his attention at all.
it's like a kid in a candy store, man.
I understand. Walking all the way up through here, I saw so much inventory of attachments and tractors. I even saw some Ventracs.
Oh yeah, there's several of them out here. Wright mower, Cub Cadet, Skag. It's all kind of good stuff
I
out
saw
here.
Bamalite stump grinders, and I saw a bunch of Land Pride equipment. It's hard to stay focused.
It's very difficult. I mean, it's like candy picking around here. Look at all this stuff.
That's right. We're at the Kubota dealer, and we wanted to try to find a comparable tractor to the 4066R that we looked at the Deere dealer. And when I talked to you, you said that you really were only interested in either Kubota or John Deere. Why is that?
I think the main reason is you think, for me, I think top of the line.
Yeah.
I want the best brand. You know, the one that's got the most recognition. And when you see the most of, the ones my buddies use, the one I see Tim using. I've got some friends in athletic field work that do much higher level intensity work than me, and they all use Kubotas. So, yeah, we kind of word of mouth and the brand basically. Who don't know what John Deere and who don't know what Kubota is? You know?
There's got to be something to it. You know, I mean, just because everybody else buys it or does it doesn't mean you should do it. But on the other hand, if everybody else buys it and does it,
then it means there's something to it.
It must mean there's something to it.
Yeah, there's something to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I can see that, and I think you're going to find the resale value on these brands to be just a step above some of the resale value on some of the other brands. I think you're going to find more accessories out there. And then I think you are going to find more information on YouTube, right? Like when you start to have a little issue with it, you've got forums you can look at. You can look at YouTube to see if other people have faced that. When you stick with these two major brands, I think that's a very wise stop. Now, not always. I think there are times to look at some of the other brands, but I think it's entirely reasonable for your first tractor to say, I'm gonna box myself in. Got a lot of stuff to consider. I'm gonna look at these two tractors.
And mine's not for sale. When I get it, I'm gonna use it. You said resale. I'm not selling my tractor. I'm gonna use it.
I'm gonna get on a soapbox here. Everybody says they're not gonna sell their tractor. Everybody says, oh, I'm never gonna sell it. I'm gonna use it forever. But the truth is, this may not turn out to be the perfect size for you. This may not turn out to have exactly the features that you think. Even when you do a lot of research up front, you may, for whatever reason, you may have a business downturn.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
You could have injuries. Heaven forbid, you could have family marital issues or something. There's all kinds of reasons that people need to sell equipment.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are unplanned.
That is true. That is true.
And so thinking ahead on resale value, I still think is important, even if you don't have any intention of selling today.
Agreed.
Okay, I got it.
Agreed.
I think the L6060, which we have right here, is the right machine for us to look at. It's about as close as we can possibly get to that Deere 4R. These are both the highest end tractors in the compact range, right?
Yeah.
Highest end in horsepower. They're also the highest end in features and comfort, right? So I think these are as close as we're going to get,
Yeah.
right, when it comes. So
Yeah.
let's
Fit-
take a look at this thing.
Yeah, physically it doesn't look much different than the Deere. that
That's
we
right,
looked at.
about the same
About the
size.
same size.
Now this is a special one, guys. This is the 50th anniversary edition. It's got bling like you would like, Pete.
Oh, I like that. I'd have to ceramic coat this thing, man.
Metallic paint.
It's shiny, nice and shiny. Got some metal flake in there. I can see me out there washing and waxing on this thing. You know what I mean?
Pete's going to be in trouble. Are you going to ask permission, or are you just going to?
I don't know, man.
Let's take a closer look inside.
My spirit is willing, but my flesh is very weak right now. I'm gonna tell you that.
Knees are weak, huh?
Yeah.
Pete, I'm having trouble even getting past these wheels. They're gray, and I don't know, they may even be a metallic. I can't tell. I think they are. Is that a metallic?
I don't think so. I think it
Okay.
is a standard gray, but it looks so shiny and new, it kind of looks a little metallic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to seeing the bright orange wheels on these Kubotas, and so seeing the gray is
It goes really well with that paint.
It's an interesting look in the gray loader.
Yeah.
You know, they're always orange on the. Now, my understanding is each dealer gets one of these, so I don't think you're going to get a discount on this one, Pete.
Probably not. I think this one's sold anyway.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
No wonder you weren't drooling quite as much as I expected.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some differences here. The tilt wheel is at your foot.
That's convenient.
I actually think that's a nice convenient
I
feature.
like that. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to have your other hand to do that.
Did the Deere have a horn?
Nope,
No horn? Oh,
that one's got a horn.
yeah, it does.
Now there's a feature right here that's going to be really interesting to you. Go ahead
Okay.
and turn the key on 2 notches, I think.
Yeah.
And this has got a 2-speed hydrostatic. See, turtle?
Yeah.
And so in addition to your low, medium, and high, this has got 2 speeds, and you can actually shift that on the go.
So if I'm in medium low and I just want to kick it up another notch, just click it up and go.
So what they say the best part of that is that, let's say you're using your loader and you're loading sand, and then you've got a nice long trip out onto the ball field. You go into fast,
Yeah.
but you want to go low to push into the pile, so
Right.
you have a little bit more power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now there's a couple of modes to run that thing. You can have it so that it will automatically shift down. So you don't even have to shift to low. You run into the pile and it'll automatically shift you down
Oh, that's nice.
and run you to the pile.
Yeah, that's
Right.
nice.
As far as I'm concerned, this is the most advanced transmission on the market.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So in addition to the 3-speed, you have the 2-speed shift on the go.
And it's not, that's, okay, we're hydrostatic here. So
It's still hydrostatic.
Still hydrostatic, okay.
It just gives you
Okay.
effectively a 6-speed hydrostatic
Yeah.
instead of a 3-speed, and 2 of them are, one of them is
Yeah.
shift on the go. So you have a pretty broad range.
That's kind of nice.
It is
you
kinda
know?
nice,
That's kind of
yeah.
nice, yeah. I can
Yeah.
see where I can see where that would come in handy, you know.
Now, up there on the joystick,
Okay.
where your index finger is, just around that, there's a button there that you can push to take the throttle. Essentially, it can go to wide open throttle, but there's
Yeah.
a setting in the menu there where you can set it how fast you would want it to go.
A lot of the times on your bucket type things that have a bucket on it, you need a little more throttle to get the bucket up and down
Yeah.
quicker. And that's what I was doing with the John Deere, was giving it gas, giving it more throttle so the bucket goes up and down a little quicker.
Yeah, now you were doing that with the foot pedal on the Deere.
Exactly.
And you have that same thing here. It's called
Yeah.
auto throttle advance. On the Deere,
Yeah.
it's called e-throttle. And that makes it so when you press further on the hydrostat pedal, the RPM increases at the same time. Yeah.
But that's nice to be able to, like, if I'm stopped in neutral lifting and I need to give it a little more fuel to pick up a
Yeah.
heavier load,
You don't
that's
have to
cool.
move your hand. Now the throttle's right beside. It's not
Yeah.
that big of a deal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it is a nice
A
feature.
convenience factor.
And if you do have the third function for the grapple, it would go up there where your thumb was. Do you see right
Oh yeah,
in there?
this
That
button.
slot right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Can we drive it?
You want to give it a try?
Yeah, I do, for sure. If I can figure it out.
That's you don't have to clutch it because
That's
no
right.
clutch.
That's right. That's right. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Okay.
That's real nice right there.
What do you think, Pete?
I like it. I mean, I really like the way it handles.
Okay.
It turns, best I can remember, I know it's been a long time since this morning, but best I can remember, it turns about as tight.
Yeah.
I'd actually have to have them side by side to compare it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty close to where it wouldn't bother me either way.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't determine which one I went with.
I think from a loader spec standpoint, it's going to be very similar. It looks
Yeah.
to me like the loader lifts about the same height. I think the capacity 1,780 some pounds, in the bucket.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be very similar to the 4R there. One thing that, of course, you found already that's different is the treadle pedal.
Yeah, that's a little different. I think you could probably get used to it over time, but if I'm being completely honest, I like the right and left a little bit. It's a little easier, a little more convenient. But I have found that when I'm using it here and throttling, if I just put my foot back, I can push down because this.
Now, another way you can do it is show me when you were throttling again. Only just use your toe instead of,
Okay.
Now, move your foot out and go under the pedal. And then that's a way to back up as well.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Now, this is almost a religious issue, right? So I have to be very careful because it doesn't matter what I say about these pedals, I'm going to offend about half the audience, right? So as treadle pedals go, I think this Grand L is about as comfortable as any I've seen. When you look at the smaller Kubotas, the forward and backward are about this far apart. Okay.
So it makes it difficult.
It makes it more difficult, at least for me. But this one is it's a rocker pedal, right? So it's built differently. And so as treadle pedals go, this one is you understand my bias is the two separate pedals too, because I can leave my heel and move back and forth. But I'm telling you, fans of the treadle pedal, they really like their treadle pedal. So I hate to say anything. It's just what you're used to, I guess. That's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, like I said, even with me not being a tractor owner, I prefer the side by side, like on the Deere. But I could see myself getting used to this because it's all about the angle, how your foot approaches it, as to how easy it is just to kick it back.
Yeah,
you know,
and this one's real light. It's it's an electric driven pedal, right? So it doesn't have the same heaviness of the mechanical. So you really can pick it up with your toe here.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of.
It's no effort whatsoever.
It doesn't take maybe 3 or 4 pounds of pull upward to get that pedal to come up. So again, I don't see it as that big of a deal on this tractor, whereas some of the smaller ones, it's a struggle for me personally. But so that wouldn't be a stumbling block for a Grand L to me. Now, what do you think about the quietness of the cab?
As far as noise goes, I don't know. I think this might be a pinch louder.
Okay.
A touch louder, maybe.
I was going to say it's a pinch quieter.
Really?
But it may just be all in my head. Kubota does not publish a stated noise level in their
like
cab.
a decibel level.
Yeah. Deere does. Deere says it's 80 decibels. Kubota doesn't publish, and even when I've asked them for more detail, they won't go there.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be a little. It's all in your head, right? But I thought it might be a little quieter here than the Deere, but it's hard to know.
It's hard to know. I'd really have to have that tractor sitting right here and operate this one, and then jump right in that one and operate that one. The color, I cannot get over the color, how good that
You're
looks.
not going to get the color, Pete.
The color looks really, really
You're not
good.
going to. Maybe we could go to the guy who bought this tractor and see if you could buy it off of him.
Yeah, either way, I'd lose my marriage. So I better not. I need to quit talking about it. All right, one thing I noticed, where are my buttons back here to adjust this without
And to back the tractor up
and
without.
getting in the tractor?
That's a feature that I don't believe
It's
Kubota
not even
has.
an option. Nope. On some of their bigger tractors it is, but on this style, that's not
Yeah.
even an option for it.
Okay.
Hey, I want to introduce you guys to Zach. Zach is, what's your title?
I'm operations and sales manager here at Kubota of Lynchburg, so all sorts of things.
Big Cheese.
There you go. I'll go by that. That'll work.
You know, I'm calling him Big Cheese because we called Zach with not too many hours warning, and he came up with a L6060 that we could test and video here. So I really appreciate it, Zach.
Absolutely. Happy to help
This
out.
is Kubota of Lynchburg, Virginia. A huge inventory here. It's an amazing inventory for this year. I mean, we
We
don't
actually
see
have
this.
a tractor for you to look at, which is rare
Yeah.
right now to find a 6060 with a loader.
Pete, I think you're going to have to ask him the tough questions.
How much does it cost?
Well, I had one of my guys look it up while we're out here. If you were going to get it spec'd how you're going to need it, 2 sets of rear hydraulic remotes, a third function for grapples and other stuff on the front, and a set of, let's say, 3,000 pound lift capacity pallet forks from Land Pride, so you can max them out without damaging it. Depending on cash versus finance and everything, you're going to be between $58,000 to $59,000 for that setup.
Okay.
So in the upper 50s.
Now, we didn't talk about the air seat in that. Is that
Okay.
what are we?
That is about an additional $1,000 for that
Okay.
air ride suspension seat. It is sweet. It makes a world of difference between operators, and it's just whether or not you can justify that expense.
Well, we've talked about it all day. I can justify it.
You can justify it.
Because if
There you
I'm
go.
going to work in this thing all day long, I want to be comfortable.
To that end, are there any other options that you can think of that might be important?
Kind of important work lights. So unfortunately,
Oh,
Kubota
yeah.
is still very antiquated on that end, where it's almost always halogens, and they're only coming with front work lights. So they're front halogen work lights. So I
No
would
rear
highly
lights?
recommend getting front and rear work lights on it.
Okay.
You've already got the third function, which is nice. This comes with a load level indicator on it, so you can easily level that load out. That is standard on these loaders. But work lights is going to be one of those things I would instantly
What are we thinking?
add on.
Another $1,000 there?
Oh no, not a couple hundred, if that.
Okay.
$100-200 for front and rear
Okay.
LEDs.
So we're a touch over 60, right? Is
I
that
think
right?
it was a touch over. Say
58
again?
to 59, you add that air
Yeah.
ride in, and you're probably right around
touch over 60.
Touch over 60.
yeah, touch
okay.
over 60 for everything.
Yeah.
Zach, thank you very much.
Absolutely. It's been a
very
pleasure.
much appreciate you
Thank
making
you.
this happen on such a
Happy to help, and
such
happy to have
short.
a 50th to show you guys. It's kind of fun to
Yeah,
have
this
one.
is a nice machine. Really appreciate it.
Well, it's a great tractor, man. It's absolutely wonderful.
Top of the line. It's kind of like you said, the best line that Kubota puts out, and the
Yeah.
highest quality is going to be the 60 series.
Cool. Well, I will definitely keep that in mind when I pull the trigger on whatever it is
you
I
pick
pull
and
the trigger
choose.
on.
Yep.
Whatever
Hey,
I
everything
pull.
has their pros and cons to
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Number one of the top things I always tell people is get with a good local dealer. So I don't know
Exactly.
where you live, but make sure your local dealer can support
Yep.
you, whatever brand it is.
That's right. And make sure you don't come home with it today, so I keep my marriage.
This is smart.
Out on the market yet?
She
Yeah,
told me
it's-
to. I walked out the door this morning. I told her I was going with Tim. She said,
Yeah. Don't buy anything.
"Don't come home with a tractor today." I was like, "Babe, you know I wouldn't come home with a tractor." She
They're
said,
going to deliver it tomorrow.
"She said, don't come home with a tractor."
Oh, you mean you got specifically told not to come home?
Yeah, in
You didn't
kind of
tell me
little way.
that.
She was like, "Don't do anything stupid."
Oh, well, this is not
That's
stupid.
different, yeah.
Well,
That's not
is
what
about-
But I know my wife. 20 years, I know what she means by that.
Yeah,
she
but-
means
but
don't
you
come
can-
home with a tractor.
You can act like you don't know.
Tim.
Tim, you're supposed to be giving good advice. here, brother. Good advice.
I'm giving good tractor advice.
I know you are.
Marital advice is not necessarily my my forte.
House. Buys tractors at auction.
You need to be quiet before you get whooped.
I'm afraid my camera lady is getting riled.
Exactly. I'd cut it off right here.
Sounds like he's not going home with the tractor today either.
Okay, so we've seen 2 tractors today.
Yep.
I would say the 2 nicest tractors in this size.
They're nice. They're really nice. Yes.
So I believe we were. Can you remember the price of the Deere?
I want to say it was right at 70, wasn't it?
69, I believe is what it was.
Quite a bit higher.
Okay, so I believe they said somewhere around 68 to 69 for the Deere.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember for sure. If I'm wrong, please go back in the video.
Yeah.
And this one is probably going to be about 60.
Mm-hmm.
Time we get a couple other options on it. Which way are you leaning?
I think when I am dead serious, I would have to come test both tractors out again, get a formal quote on paper, take it home, sit down, look at it, go over it with my wife, and make sure we're both on the same page.
I
that kind of
definitely
thing.
agree with that. I mean, making
Yeah.
a decision with what little time we've spent would not be wise.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah. 'Cause
agree with
that's
that.
a chunk of money.
But come
Yeah.
on, we're on YouTube here. Where are you leaning?
If I had to buy one today, is that what you want to know?
Yeah, and
The
I'll hold you to it, of course.
the 10 grand would come into play,
Okay.
probably. Yeah, because I don't mind buying quality. I don't mind spending extra for quality, but I got one quality here and I got another quality over there, but one's quite a bit more expensive.
So from your view today, you view these tractors as very, very similar in overall package.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, each tractor has their own specific thing that makes them a little bit unique. That might make me like that better about that tractor. But to save that kind of money, I'm really not going to pay much attention to all the little quirks. You know what I mean? That's a big price difference. Had a long day today.
We have.
We went to John Deere, looked at some tractors. The Kubota dealership up here in Lynchburg was gracious enough to let us come check out theirs. Tim has kind of went through the whole day with me, showing me tractors. I've learned quite a bit. I absolutely appreciate your time. And like you mentioned in your video, it's always great to hang out with people. You know, you watch them on YouTube and they're like, you watch them enough, you feel like you know them. But here we are face to face, and we eat lunch, we eat supper together, and we've just had a blast, man. And I love that.
Say, we knew we had a few things in common.
Yeah.
Of course, we both love the Ventrac.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think there's something else that we have in common that we love even more.
It's gotta be the Lord.
It is the Lord.
That would be the only thing I can think of, because that's absolute priority in my life, and I know for a fact it's priority in yours as well. So keep pushing that wherever you go, and let God
You do
be
the same.
God. Yes,
You
sir.
do the same.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no, anytime, man. Anytime. I want you to come mow my grass. I want you to come mow my yard, my turf, my bluegrass, my fescue.
I don't come and do work for people. I come and have people do
But
work
it
for
ain't
me.
work when you mow my yard.
I have seen your yard, and
it's
you're right.
Fun. It's
I can't
nice.
believe
It's
it.
enjoyable. It's a pleasure, and you'll probably be hooked once you do it. And you'll be like, "Hey, we got to go buy some fertilizer and make the grass green." All right. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to close it. All right, so there we go. Big day, and I had a great time. And like I said earlier, come back whenever you want. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. As always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.
Good stuff, man.
All done now?
There you go.
It took us a lot of time to get that close.
Figure out how to finish it.
We've